with the possibility of Thomas Partey leaving Arsenal for Barcelona on a free transfer, which is no surprise to me. Because if you're an Arsenal fan, you should know players in the last year of their contracts seemingly have no injury problems, seemingly can play so well. Thomas Partey, why would you do this to Arsenal? We've had it with Robert Van Persie when he left Arsenal for Manchester United. Miraculously, he had that injury pain-free season, and then he pisses off over to the dark side, not Tottenham, Manchester United. Thomas Partey looks like he's going to be on the verge of going to Barcelona on a free transfer from Arsenal because the contract is going to be better for him, more suited for him and his family. I'm Ty Knight here for TK24 Sports. New to the show, like, subscribe, turn the notification on so you don't miss a show every time we upload. But there's good news. Eze has been linked to Arsenal yet again. Yes, the Crystal Palace man, the FA Cup winner. Yes, I'm going to call him the FA Cup winner, is linked to Arsenal. Now, could this move materialise? Could this be the deal that helps Arsenal or elevates Arsenal? What's your thoughts on that opinion there? Does he help Arsenal or only elevate them? And I say only because we only need players who can elevate Arsenal to the next level to hit that Premier League, that Champions League, that FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, all in one season. Hopeful? Yes, but why not be hopeful? 2 out of 4 I'm taking. Premier League, Champions League. Hey, so Eze, on the links to being with Arsenal. Now, this is good news, but on the sad side, Thomas Partey more than likely is going to go from Arsenal, go to Barcelona. I just got this hunch, I've got this feeling that it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. But if Arsenal's linked with Eze with a potential, could be a 55 to 60 to 65 million pound deal, get the terms spread in Arsenal's favour. When I say Arsenal's favour, it doesn't work that way. Both parties got to be mutually consent with it and say, okay, over 3 years, over 4 years, how much up front it needs to be. But forget all that waffle. This is the part we need to know. How can Eze help Arsenal? As we can see here, very quickly on the heat map, he is predominantly on the left-hand side. Now, this is where Declan Rice currently plays here. But what does it mean for Declan Rice? Does he just scoot back over to being on the defensive side as a number 6, as people like to say? But with the emergent signings of a Zubamendi coming in, does that make Arsenal even better? Does it mean that Arsenal will have more weapons to their bow? Or is it going to be that they're weaker if Thomas Partey leads to Barcelona with a Mikel Arteta there and only a Declan Rice with a Zubamendi? It's going to be kind of light. But if you add in a Eze who can be very obstructive in the sense of when he gets forward, he has an eye for goal. We saw it with the FA Cup final, the FA Cup semi-final. We've seen it throughout the league as well. But talking about league form, let's quickly look at this as well. So last season, he played a total of 34 games in the Premier League, 43 in total. He scored 8 goals in the Premier League, 8 assists. FA Cup, 4 and 1 assist. And the Carabao Cup, as we know, 4 games, 2 goals and 3 assists. But over the season, you can see he has averaged the season before the 23-24 season, 31 games, and then with that, 11 goals in total, 40 games, 10 goals in total. There was a 1, then a 4, then a 14. But we can see that he is just a monster when it comes to goals. When we talk about the season before, we're looking at 11 goals and 4 assists. So Eze has what it takes to make it in the Premier League. Eze has what it takes to not help Arsenal, but elevate Arsenal with new options going forward. Being more aggressive going forward is what Arsenal need. Declan Rice, no doubt, can do that for Arsenal. Declan Rice, no doubt, is the freight train, as I always call him, the player that helps Arsenal in midfield, but he needs help. Martin Odegaard kind of fell off last season, came to his true self in the last 2-3 games to go in the season, but that's just not enough. And Arsenal need players there, not as backup, but as competition to elevate and help Arsenal get to the next stage. And the reason why we're not talking about the next stage as in a striker, that's for tomorrow. That's for Wednesday. We've done a deep dive already on Sesko versus Gyökeres versus Isaac. I've done shows on Sesko already. And you know, if you're a subscriber to the show, you know my true feelings about Sesko and what I really feel about him. But if you're not a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Get subscribing now. Back to Eze. Eze coming in potentially would be a fantastic signing for Arsenal. Already was once with Arsenal as a kid, got moved on, went to QPR, goes from QPR to Crystal Palace. From Palace, he makes his name year after year after year, like an elite say. But now with Eze, fully overgrown age, he can really and truly help Arsenal on the left-hand side. I'm not talking about rotational. I'm talking about time where we're talking really and truly starting games and elevate Arsenal to the next level. That's what we need. And I keep on using that word, if you notice, elevate, 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 because that's what Arsenal need. Players who can elevate them, elevate the club, elevate Mikel Arteta's tactical decisions and awareness to say, this guy's needed for this game. This guy's needed to come on at this point. This guy needs a nice rotational. Without having that in a team, this is where Arsenal falls short. With the likes of an Eze coming in, this opens up the door. Can you imagine a midfield of a Eze, let's say Rice, and then an Odegaard, or you change it, there's Zubimendi and Moreno and an Odegaard, and then Eze, Odegaard, Moreno, Eze, Zubimendi, Odegaard, Rice, Odegaard, Zubimendi, Eze, Zubimendi, Odegaard. I'm going through all the rotations here as to what Arsenal could do with an Eze. Eze can literally, let's say it again, let's say it with me, elevate Arsenal to another level. Just because he's not a Spanish or Brazilian or a Dutch international, it doesn't sound great. But if you watch the Premier League football, you know just how good Eze is. You will just know. But anyway, that's my thoughts. What's your thoughts? Get chatting below. Will this deal elevate Arsenal to another level? I'd love to know your thoughts. I'm tying out here for TK24 Sports.